we are slowly coming to an end. In this lecture, we're gonna sum up all the things we've learned and also incorporate some new things that might be useful. So let's create a new composition. Let's turn on the action title save and let's select ellipse tool. Now you need to press shift and drag. That way you will create a perfect circle. Okay, let's deselect it, place it in the center. The anchor point is already in the center, so we don't need to move it anywhere. Let's change the color to something else and press OK. We can create a stroke as well. Let's select a darker color so it stands out more, and we can increase the size of the stroke. There you go, just like that. You can of course create your own shapes, but for now we're gonna stick with the round shape. So let's animate it. You open up transform. Let's zoom in to the timeline a little bit, and let's scale it up and down. We did this before, so you should be comfortable with doing that. Let's make it ease in and out, and drag around the curves to make it smoother. That should do. Let's go back. Okay, that is much better. So it's the flow is much nicer. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna add some text inside the shape. It can be anything. You can, for this, we're just gonna type in logo. Let's change the font. It's right here. You can scroll up and down to select the font you want to use. Let's use this one. You can scale the text up and down. Let's make it smaller. Place it in the middle. Okay, so now we can animate the text. Open up transform. Then place your object in the middle of your action title save. Right there in the middle. And animate the scale. We did this before, so you should be comfortable with working with keyframes. If you're not there yet, just continue practicing, continue creating keyframes, dragging everything around, and soon you'll be a fish in the water, you know. It's very easy once you get the gist of it. Okay, so I think that should do it. Let's change the color of the text. And you can also turn on motion blur. It's quite a cool effect. You won't use it all the time, but there are some cases where it looks pretty sweet. So it's right here. You press this icon, and then you need to turn it on each layer you want the effect to work on. As you can see, there is a slight motion blur. When you play it back, it will look much nicer. You don't have to use it all the time, but sometimes that effect can make the scene much more alive. So next up is what we can do. We can add some effects on it. Just like in Photoshop or Illustrator. For effects, you can search either the top over here. There's all your effects and transitions, or you can go here and type in the desired effect. For example, we want to use drop shadow. It's probably the most common effect used in Photoshop. You just drag it on the layer like that, and then it'll appear on your effects panel on the left. You can change the values there, right here. Yep, so you can increase the shadow or make it smaller. And there's a lot of effects there. You just need to select each one and see what it does. See what works for you. What can you mix together and create awesome new effects. A good thing to do is create a shape and just drag the effects onto it and see what it does to the shape. So you can do that. But for now, let's continue creating our logo animation. So you can copy and paste keyframes as I said before. So first we want the circle to scale up to 100% and then scale down. You can make it disappear by creating other animations, such as reduce the opacity so it dissolves, but let's use the scale for now. We can also make it disappear by taking it off the screen. So all you need to do is animate the position, and right now we're just animating the shape's position. I'll show you why. Because you can actually parent your other layer that is not animated to the one that is, and what it will do, it will just follow the layer that is already moving. So you parented the first one, your text, to your shape layer, and now since the shape layer is animated, the text layer will follow. As you can see, it makes your life way easier. You can do this to multiple layers, so you can create a dozen of text layers or shape layers and parent them to one layer that is animated, and they will follow that layer. Let's ease in and out. What I want to show you as well is how can you import your own graphics that you created in Photoshop or Illustrator. So you click here, click import, file, and then select the file that you want to import. And there you go, it appears in your project panel. You can select and drag it to your composition and do the same thing you do with text layers or shape layers. You can of course apply effects to that layer. You can animate the scale, opacity, everything.